that, we have a game here. So yes, they're finally in friendly after a good whole 15 minutes thereabouts. But yeah, it's crazy. You're watching EGTV, by the way, Epic Gaming Television. I'm Babael, joining me is Jerds. We have ManaSurge, 0 points still, and Rickardo, the first player sent out by Team Impunity, still surviving with the warrior of his. And we'll see what they are going to play next. But yep.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
I guess what would you recommend to play against a control warrior? Let's say you are now the next player.
Oh man, such a tough call, but I don't know. Mix it up with some consistent tempo, and say maybe a rogue or a shaman even can fulfill that role. And when I say tempo rogue and tempo shaman, I mean they're kind of rare these days, especially in tournament. But you can still pull it out, you know, and it still can do decently. And against control warrior, I'd give it, a tempo rogue maybe 50-50. But if you play it well, then you can edge that up into your favor. Here we go. The choice has been made, and it's a Paladin.
Yep, but that's it. Also, Leo, GGLeo, the legendary player from ManaSurge, is going to be the one coming up next into the fray here. And we have Rickardo still going to be playing as his warrior. I do believe it still looks like a control warrior to some extent, but the interesting thing here to note is that both players, because of a bit of a connection issue, we're gonna have to switch their position on the board, and Rickardo is going to be on the bottom half of this board, and we have GGLeo on taking the top half there, and that's it. Man, we should be pretty good to go. So Paladin against warrior. What do you think about this lineup here?
Super interesting choice, and I was having big discussions with my friend Kai actually about. He's a huge Paladin fan, and pretty much got to 60 in like 30 seconds of Hearthstone being released on Paladin. I wonder about the potential. I mean, look at the control warrior. You've got so many big minions. If it's going to that end game, what is the Paladin going to do about removals? Paladin doesn't have hard removals. That's the big problem here. So he needs to finish something in the mid approaching end game. It's going to come down to the cards.
Yep, it is going to come down to the cards indeed.
Let's look at this hand too for Rickardo, who's I'm watching Rickardo's perspective right now, and what have we got here? We've got some mid game power with double Azure Drake, and he's just not much else besides that, so he really needs to get to 5 and 6. I don't know what he's going to do. I mean, I don't know if he can stop Leo's right now.
Yeah. Leo is currently playing a very interesting variation of the Paladin deck. It looks like it's kind of aggro-ish, but it's got a lot of minion. Knife Jack is a great play here as well. Fairy Dragon, and Rickardo's hand looks completely disgusting. There's nothing that could probably stop him. Slam is going to help him with card draw, but that's about it. And Whirlwind is not going to do jack against minions above 1 health there. So he needs to be very careful as to what his next decision is. He don't want to be wasting a Shield Slam to kill something that comes back to life, like the Harvest Golem. It's not really all green for him just yet, but if it doesn't answer the questions on the board right now, he probably is looking at a very, very quick game. Yeah,
look, I think Leo's got the advantage here. He's this is a snipe if I've ever seen one. You know, he's selected this deck specifically to counter the control and get in early. And by the sounds of the cards that you said that Leo's got in the hand, and what I'm seeing with Rickardo, I don't know what he can do. And you can see he's hovering over his options and having a hard time making a decision. I guess you can Shield Slam the Cleric to try and stop the pain. But that's pretty much his only option. I guess you could Slam too, but
yeah, but Slam doesn't draw anything here, so yeah, needs to be very careful. And he doesn't have Cleave. I know he runs Cleave, but he doesn't have that, so he's gonna Shield Slam.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a waste, but oh well.
And you know what I don't think he has, which he probably would need against this Paladin? I don't think he has Brawl. I'm not sure, but I don't remember seeing one.
Yep, don't remember seeing one as well.
So it's going to be tough to for our friend Rickardo to try and stop this Paladin aggression. It's just going to be a full-on flood and consistent.
Well, there's a lot of things that Leo can do here. He should definitely look to drop the Knife Jack. The only question is, does he play the Fairy Dragon or maybe a Hero Power there? Summoning a Dude, of course, but he's going to go to Fairy Dragon. That's a 3-2 on the field. Slam is the thing about Fairy Dragon is that it kind of works very well against the warrior, as in only Whirlwind or maybe even the what's the other one there? Oh, Cleave can pick off the Fairy Dragon because of the thing that you cannot target that.
Yeah, that's right. Look, that untargetable is you don't see fairy dragons very often these days, and I remember the days when you used to throw that fairy dragon in the middle of fighting against a rogue, so it couldn't use betrayal. Very powerful, not being targetable by the enemy. All right, so Rickardo's got a few more options now to start with removals. He can start doing double cruel taskmaster combos to kill something with 2 health.
Yeah, okay, he's gonna have to postpone the big plan. The plan was to play a Zoodrake as well as a Whirlwind, but now if he plays that, he cannot kill 3 out of 4 minions on the field, and that is not really good for him.
That Argus came in perfectly.
Yeah, if he did the Cruel Taskmaster, he's gonna take even more damage because of the lack of mana to kill either one of those minions there. I guess his best bet here really is to photocopy one of the minions there, and that's with Faceless Manipulator.
The only thing I might say about Leo's play there is I probably would have put the Argus between the Fairy Dragon and the Harvest Golem, just so that the Knife Juggler wouldn't be a primary target, like a first hit target, because that's the sort of thing that you need to squeeze damage out of point for point. It's going to come down to point for point well, maybe it won't, but
I guess
this deck that he's got constructed is all about squeezing out the value. So
yeah, I guess the reason why he did that is try to protect the Knife Jet by giving 1 extra toughness. It will only die to charging minions, and based on what Leo knows of Rickardo's deck over the last 2 games, if he's running the same deck list, there's only the Cochrane Elite that has got charge. You don't see Control Warrior running Wolf Rider or something like a Bluegill Warrior, because they generally don't do that. So
yeah, that's true. I was thinking more about Fiery War Axe, but
oh yeah, that too.
Yeah, I'll put Faceless manipulating a Taunter is probably a good idea. He needs to stop the bleeding, so to speak. What's Leo got in the hand here that he can do?
Leo has got double Consecration, Eldor Peacekeeper, and a Defender. And a Argent Commander that he's gonna play right now. So, yep, I guess this game. Strong. Yeah, this is just too much for Rickardo to bear with. Unless he top decks another Whirlwind, is that.
Oh, look, there's no answer, and that'll be game, and a very fast game, done in 6 to 7 turns here. Perfect choice by Leo, and well played too,
Yep.
What's going on here? He's looking for options.
He's struggling to accept the reality that he's dead.
That's right. If you know it's done, it's done.
Oh, he gets Shoe Slam, but not enough mana to make the magic happen there.
That's true.
He's gonna call it Conceit, so.
Look, and there's no denying Rickardo had a really good run. A super strong start with those wins early on, but now the tables have turned.
Indeed, and that said, ManaSurge Leo winning 1 game for Team ManaSurge. The question now is that Rickardo will have one more deck one more class to represent himself, and he can choose between a few options here. Against this Paladin that could be a control or could be anything else. We don't know what. We really don't know what Leo's going to be using next. It could be a different variation